Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are we feeling today?
Good.
Good, yeah? Got lots of sleep? I stayed up late last night playing a video game, and I'm a little tired this morning. I need to go to bed a little earlier today.
It's over here. You're right-handed. Look on your right. Pick that up. Move this off to the side.
Good morning, Miss Clark.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
It was wonderful. How was yours?
It was pretty good. I got to play a lot of a video game. I'm working on Marvel Superheroes 2 Lego version, and
wow.
I could literally sit there for 8 hours and only get like 3% done on the game. It's like a huge game. It takes forever.
Wow.
A little frustrating, but at least it keeps me busy for a long time.
Work in the living room or in the kitchen when you drop.
Give us about 2 more minutes before we get started. I know some other people are trying to jump in. Make sure you're in a quiet place and you're sitting still so you're not walking around everywhere, please.
Later.
Okay. Go ahead. You can just look for it.
I think the best one to do is
About 2 more people trying to get in. I'll give them just a minute. Everybody's got the answer to that question ready for this morning, right? If you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would you eat? You got your answer ready?
yes, ma'am.
Awesome. We're going to try and get our work going so we can get our sentence stems rolling. So make sure you know the answer to the sentence for us and be ready when I call your name.
Noodles. Chicken noodles.
No, como le llamaba usted.
You'll see one person trying to get in. As soon as she jumps in, we'll go ahead and get started.
Chicken noodles. Yummy. Yummy. Chicken noodles. Yummy. Chicken noodles soup.
Okay, well, Hannah's trying to join us, but her internet is probably taking a while. So we'll go ahead and get it started. I'll start us off for today. If I could eat one food for the rest of my life, I think I would choose pizza, thin crust specifically, because it doesn't have a lot of bread, so it wouldn't help me gain weight by eating a lot of bread. And it has different toppings that you could put on it to kind of change up the flavor so you don't get too bored with the type of food. Shake it up and call on somebody. Landon, if you could choose one food for the rest of your life, what would you eat? Make sure you unmute yourself.
I would eat cinnamon rolls because they're one of my favorite foods.
Awesome. Thank you for using a complete sentence. Great job. Sean, don't forget to unmute yourself. What would you eat?
I would eat noodles because there is a bunch of flavors.
Awesome, great choice. Noodles is a good thing to eat. My favorite kind of noodles is macaroni because I can put all the kind of cheese on it I want. How about Will?
One food that I would eat for the rest of my life would be cheese enchilada because I love cheese and cheese enchiladas are stuffed with cheese.
Awesome, great answer. You and me have a love of cheese. How about Bree? What would you eat for the rest of your life?
I will eat pasta because it's my favorite food.
Awesome, pasta. A lot of noodles I see going on here. All right, AJ.
One food that I would eat for the rest of my life is candy.
Candy, awesome. Think you'd have to do a lot of exercise and brush your teeth a lot for that candy. A lot of different flavors there. It's a good choice. Chloe, what would you do?
I will eat salad for the rest of my life because it's really healthy.
You said salad? Good choice. Awesome. And Diesel, is he with us? I thought I saw his name in there. There you are. Diesel, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
One thing I would eat for my rest of my life would be spaghetti.
Spaghetti, yeah. It's also noodles. We just had that the other day, but I also cover it in cheese.
I do it
What
too.
would you eat? Uh-oh, Noella's drinking. Noella, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
I would eat ice cream.
Ice cream, lots of different flavors, nice and yummy. Love it. Yep. Especially with your missing teeth. That's going to be great, right? Cirilla, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
I would eat yogurt because I like the strawberries taste.
Awesome. I love yogurt too. Strawberry is one of my favorite flavors for yogurt. Good choice. Cade, what would you eat for the rest of your life? Oh, sorry. Hold on, I muted you on accident. Good, go again.
I would eat chicken.
Chicken. Any particular flavor of chicken?
No, just regular chicken.
Regular chicken, not chicken nuggets, not grilled chicken, just chicken in general. Awesome, okay. Kyle, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
I'll eat French fries.
French fries, yeah, nice and salty. What's your favorite place to get French fries from?
McDonald's.
McDonald's, me too. I've really grown accustomed to eating Burger King's French fries too, though. They've kind of grown on me. I used to not like them, and now I like them. All right, and Princeton, what would you eat for the rest of your life?
I would eat vegetable but what I'm going to show you has to be a picture.
Okay, so show me. Ew, what is that?
That's what's going to happen to you if you keep eating junk food.
Oh my goodness, ew, gross. Okay, well, we all need to take a lesson and eat healthy stuff so we don't get whatever that was, okay? All right, Ms. Hannah's still trying to join us, so let me take just a second and text her dad and see if she can jump off and jump back in.
Miss Johnson, I would like to say that if I could eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be ice cream because there's so many flavors and it's so refreshing and I love it so much.
So thank you for sharing. We just had some cookies and cream ice cream last night. That's one of my husband's favorite flavors. And when it's not that, it's probably vanilla, so I can put any topping on it. All right, well, Hannah's still trying to join us, and I still see a lot of people that haven't joined us. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. But let's go ahead and get into our lesson for the day. Make sure I do this correctly now. Okay, can you see my screen that says Direct Teach Notes? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, because I don't have Miss Adam on with me today, and she's usually my helper to tell me if I did something wrong or not. So the first thing that we are going to go over is going to be our reading. Reading this week, we are working on character traits. This is something that we've gone over in class before. Something to keep in mind about character traits is they can often be confused with feelings, but it's not the same thing. So character traits is a way that you describe how you act, how you behave, and usually when you read a book, you can look at what the character is doing in the story and kind of how they're behaving, what they're saying. All those evidence and those clues kind of give you a hint at what their character trait could be. What we need to be careful of is looking at how are they feeling, what's their emotion in the book, because feelings and character traits are not the same thing, okay? So when we start our book today, I'm going to give you an example of character trait and a feeling, and then as we go on and read, I'll call on some people to help me with those character traits, okay? I think Hannah's about to join us, so let me pause for just a second. I saw she tried to pop back in. Let's see if she pops up. Hi, Hannah. Can you hear us? Hello. We're just getting started with our reading lesson. We're going over character traits for today. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. We're going over character traits for today in reading. And I was just telling the other kids that we're going to be very careful to not confuse character traits with feelings, because a lot of times those can get really confusing and kind of mix them up as we're learning stuff. But feelings is kind of like happy, sad. Your feelings change from moment to moment. Your character trait is how you behave on the inside, like how you normally act all the time. So as we read our book today, I'm going to show you an example at the very beginning, and then I'm going to start calling on people to share what character traits they think our main character has. Okay? All right, so our book today is How I Became a Pirate. We've read this in class already, so this should be pretty familiar. I may skip around through the book because we don't need to read the exact whole entire story, but I'm going to do a good chunk from the beginning and a good chunk from the end, and you can kind of give me some examples of their character traits. Let me do one quick thing before we get started. Please remember that our chat room is not to be used right now. I need it to be off. There's no reason we need to be talking. Thank you. We need to be paying attention to the lesson. There's time to say hi at the beginning and time to say hi at the end. Thank you. All right, some of our character traits that we are going to look at. So some of these words are pretty big. If you see one that you're unfamiliar with, you can raise your hand and I'll try and catch you and kind of explain what that word is. We have adventurous, arrogant, bossy, brave, calm, charming, cheerful, clever, confident, considerate, courageous, curious, daring, determined, dishonest, disrespectful, easygoing, friendly, funny, greedy, and helpful. I'm going to stop on that list. If you have a question on any of those words, raise your hand. I see Diesel. What was your question, Diesel?
My question was, what is the word, what is like the second orange word mean?
This one right here, arrogant.
No, the one, the 11th one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Down.
Courageous.
Like, up one?
Considerate.
Yes.
Considerate means you're like thoughtful of others. You think of others before you think of yourself. It's really how I look at it. Ms. Clark, do you have anything to add to that? I think of it as thinking of others.
I think that's a really good definition, Ms. Johnson. You think about other people more than you think about what you would like.
All right, does anybody else have any other questions of any of those other words? We're good on those words. I don't see any other hands up. I'm trying to scroll through. Okay, I'm gonna read the next list. You let me know with a hand up if you don't know any of these words, because we're gonna need to know.
Raise your hand. Say, Ms. Johnson, I have a question.
Oh, I didn't see it. Hold on, let me go back. Was that Cirillo? Oh, hey, Cirillo. What is your question?
Say, I don't know. What's the word again?
I don't know what mischievous means.
Mischievous, right? I haven't
Mischievous.
read that list yet, but yes, I will go over that. Give me just a second. Let me go ahead and read this list, okay?
Okay.
Okay, on this list, we have honest, imaginative, independent, intelligent, jealous, lazy, loyal, mischievous, or some people pronounce it mischievous, proud, quiet, responsible, rude, sassy, selfish, shy, sneaky, stubborn, thoughtful, and trustworthy. So I'll start with Cirilla's word, and then I'll ask if anybody else had any questions on these words. Mischievous is kind of like sneaking around. You're usually doing something wrong that you know you shouldn't be doing, and you're trying not to get caught. Maybe it's stealing candy from the candy jar when mom's not looking, or maybe it's peeking at a neighbor's work to kind of copy their answers. To me, that's kind of like mischievous or mischievous. Does that help? Yeah. All right. Any other questions on any of those words before we go on with our lesson for the day? Just want to make sure everybody understands what the words are. Diesel, is that a hand up? No? Okay. Let me look one more time. I think we're good to go. Don't see any hands. Okay, here we go. Let me start our book. We're going to have to mute it for the advertisement real quick. And hopefully our YouTube is going to kick in and start working. There it is. Gotta love advertisements, right?
Written by Melinda Long, illustrated by David Shannon, as read by Paul Cuthbert. Pirates have green teeth when they have any teeth at all. I know about pirates because one day when I was at the beach building a sandcastle and minding my own business, a pirate ship sailed into view. I knew what it was because its flag had a skull and crossbones on it, and because I could hear the pirates singing, "Hey-ho, blow them on down." They were a little off-key. I tried to tell Dad, but he was busy setting up the beach umbrella. I tried to tell Mom, but she was busy slathering my baby sister with sunblock. So I went back to my sandcastle, but I kept an eye on the pirates. By then, they were rowing to shore. When they landed, the head pirate climbed out of the boat and yelled, "Ahoy there, matey! Be this the Spanish Main?" "No," I said. "This is North Beach." "Shiver me timbers," the pirate said. "We must have taken a wrong turn at Bora Bora." He walked around my sandcastle. He looked at the moat and then yelled back to his crew, "He is a digger, he is, and a good one to boot." "A good one to boot," the others agreed. "What be your name, matey?" the head pirate asked. "Jeremy Jacobs, sir," I told him. "Well, Jeremy Jacob," he said, "you're a looking at Braidbeard and his crew. We've been needing a digger like yourself. We've a chest of treasure to bury." "Aye, treasure," the others shouted. "You're coming with us," Braidbeard told me. I didn't think Mom and Dad would mind, as long as I got back in time for soccer practice the next.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there, and I'm going to go back to my chart here. Based on what we've seen in the video, let me give you a couple of examples of some character traits that I've seen from some different characters, and then as we go on with the book, I'll call on some different names, okay? So our main character, Jeremy Jacobs, at first, he's, on the beach, he's making his sandcastle, and he sees this pirate ship in the background, and he gets kind of interested and excited. We have to be careful not to mention excited as a character trait, because that's a feeling, right? You're kind of like, oh, there's a pirate ship out there. That's a feeling. It's not really describing how he's acting. So when they come on shore and they start talking to him, and he's saying Jeremy Jacobs, sir. Did you hear that language of he didn't say, my name's Jeremy. Like he wasn't rude, he wasn't disrespectful, he was respectful to the pirate. So that would be a character trait. Even though it's somebody that he doesn't know, he responded to the pirate very respectfully, called him sir, used a complete sentence. So I would say that I could describe the main character as respectful because he called him sir, spoke in a complete sentence. Something else that I would describe this main character, Jeremy Jacobs, as is brave or confident or adventurous, because even though these pirates came on shore, people that he didn't know, pirates are known for being like ruthless and rude and mean and like stealing stuff. He automatically just went with them and joined them on his trip. He didn't know those people. He didn't even go and talk to his parents and go, hey, are these people okay? So I would describe this main character as brave and confident because he was willing to go with people that he didn't know and he thought he could like just hang with them and be okay. So those are a couple of character traits that I would describe our main character as. Are there any questions so far before I go ahead and go to another page and ask some people to share what they think character traits are? I see Landon, go ahead.
I have another character trait for pirates.
Go for it.
Brutal.
What'd you say?
Brutal.
Brutal?
Yes.
Brutal. Can you use the sentence stem on the page and explain why you think pirates are brutal? Brutal. This sentence stem right here.
I could describe the pirates as brutal because they use their cannonballs to sink ships after
Sink
they
ships.
take the loot.
Very good. Okay, so you have some schema already about pirates, maybe from books you've read or from movies you've seen or whatever. But yes, they usually use their cannons to shoot down other ships and kind of get other people out of their way. So yes, that is a good character trait. Good example. Anybody else have a question or want to share something from what we've read so far? Don't see any hands. Okay. Oh, Kate, I saw yours. Did you want to share?
I didn't even have a question.
What did you want to say?
It's sharing.
Okay. What do you want to share?
I think I could describe the main character as charming
Charming. How do you think he was charming in the book?
because he just let the kid just join them.
Oh, so you're saying the pirate was charming, not Jeremy Jacobs. The pirate was charming?
Yeah.
Kind of like smooth talking to him, like, hey, come with us. We need to bury this treasure, and kind of encouraged him to get on the boat. Yeah, we could call him charming. Very good. Nice clue. All right, let's go back to our book and read a little bit more, and then I'll call on some more people. Y'all are doing a great job with this.
Next day. That's how I became a pirate. As soon as we were on board, Braidbeard showed me the chest of gold and jewels. Got to find a safe place for this here treasure. It's high time we were off.
I'm going to pause for just a second and ask a question, see if you can answer it. Could I describe Jeremy Jacobs' character trait as happy right now? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you can answer my question. Could I describe his character trait as happy? Diesel, I think that's a hand. What do you think?
I think I would say yes, because he is happy.
Okay, let me call on a couple more people before I answer what the question should be. Okay, go ahead.
No, because that's not a feeling.
It's not a feeling or it's not a character trait?
That is a feeling.
It is a feeling. Okay, thank you for your answer. Anybody else want to chime in? Do you think it is a character trait or not? Hannah, what do you think?
No, because it's not a character trait.
What is it instead?
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. Okay. Anybody else want to share? I'll call on one more person before I reveal what I think the answer is. I don't see any more. Oh, Will, what do you think? I'm trying to unmute. Sorry. There you go.
I think he is happy.
You think he is happy? So you would say happy is a character trait?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's go back and look at our sentence right here. Remember, feelings are not character traits. So happy is how you feel. You can tell by a smile, you can tell by a frown, you can tell by your like eyes going up. Think about it as an emoji. You know what emojis are, right? Those smiley faces that you put on text when you text people. If you can describe that word with an emoji and know what it means, that's a feeling. So like you have a happy emoji, you have a sad crying emoji, you have a scared emoji shaking. Those are feelings. So in this case, I would not say that Jeremy Jacobs' character trait is happy, because you're not going to be happy all the time. Okay, happy is usually a feeling. You're feeling happy at that moment because he's sitting in those jewels. He's very excited to be there, but that's a feeling, not a character trait. So I just wanted to pause for a second and kind of point that out, because like I said, it's really easy to confuse those. Okay, so really try and think, is this a feeling? Is it how he's feeling right this second? Or is this how he's behaving? Is it an internal character trait? Okay, let's continue.
Announced. We're off, we all shouted. And then we set sail. There was plenty to do on board. The pirates taught me to sing sea shanties. The louder, the better. And to say real pirate stuff, like landlubber and scurvy dog. By dinner time, I could speak pirate perfectly. I also learned pirate manners. Braidbeard pounded his fist on the table and yelled, "Down the hatch, me laddies!" Down the hatch, we all shouted. Braidbeard gulped his food and said, "Hand over the meat!" "We'll eat," we all roared. Nobody told us to finish our spinach. There wasn't any. Or to chew up our carrots. They weren't allowed on board. We talked with our mouths full, and nobody said please or thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there and ask if you can tell me what character trait we could use to describe that scene that we just ended on. So all the pirates sitting there eating, look at kind of what they're doing. Kind of look at some details of that picture. Look at the feet on the table. Look at the drinks spilling. Remember, they weren't saying please or thank you. There's probably some burping going on in there. It's a big mess everywhere. How could we describe how the pirates are acting at this moment? Lisa, let's see your hand. Give it a try.
I think it was disrespectful because you don't talk with your mouth full.
Very good. So you could describe the pirates as disrespectful because we should not talk with our mouths full. Excellent sentence. Good job. Anybody else want to chime in? Kate, I see your hand again.
I could describe the main character as lazy because they aren't even doing all the manners here.
Okay, so they're being lazy with their manners. They're not even working or doing anything. They're like wasting time eating food and being, you know, merry with everything that they do, right? So we could describe them as lazy. Good job. I'll take one more. Anybody else want to add an idea? Bree, is that your hand up? Okay. See a couple of videos that are off. Make sure if your video is off that you actually are at your computer and you're paying attention. All right, don't see any more hands, so we'll continue. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. We know that he kind of, remember the storm comes up and he gets a little scared. Would scared be a character trait? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Would scared be a character trait? I see a couple thumbs down, thumbs down. Thumbs down. Good job. So scared would be a feeling. That's how he was feeling at that moment. That's not how he behaves all the time. Good job. Scared would be a feeling. Okay, so I'm gonna jump ahead. There's a storm coming. He's a little worried. He's wanting somebody to tuck him in. And let me go right here.
Nobody had time to sit close and tell me it would be over soon. Nobody even noticed. I decided that I didn't want to be a pirate after all. Just then, flash, crash, crack! Lightning hit the mast and split it right down the middle. "What do we do now?" yelled one of the pirates. "We'll have to turn back," called another. "But the treasure!" hollered Braidbeard. "Where will we bury the treasure?" I stepped forward. "Maybe I can help," I shouted over the wind. "I think I know the perfect digging spot." When the storm was over, we rowed back to shore and buried the chest. We drew a map so we could find the treasure again. But I don't think I'll need it.
Well, let me back up just for a second. Where did he hide that treasure? Why will he not need the map? Sean, I see your hand. Where did he bury that treasure? Oh, sorry.
I think he buried that treasure in his backyard.
And if he had that idea of, you know what, let's bury it in my backyard, what character trait do you think we could describe him as?
Helpful?
Okay, so he is providing a different alternative because they were going to go and hide it somewhere else. And now he's being helpful of, hey, we could hide it in my backyard. That would be a good character trait. Good job. Anybody else think they have a different character trait that you could describe him as? I see Cade's hand. Let me see if there's anybody else because I've called on you a lot. No, don't see anybody else's hand. Okay, Cade, go for it. How could you describe him? Why would he want to hide that treasure in his backyard?
I could describe the main character as sneaky
Why?
because he didn't even tell his parents anything that happened.
Okay,
And-
that's a good. He didn't tell his parents. What about the treasure, though? Why is he hiding it in his backyard? I agree with your word sneaky, but think that through a little bit. Why is that sneaky to hide his treasure in his backyard?
Be-
Why do you think?
because it's thoughtful for the pirates.
Okay, so if we go back and look right here, remember they were going to hide the treasure like way far away from his house. Like they were on the ocean, sailing to an island. They were going to bury that treasure there. If Jeremy Jacobs goes back home, is he able to touch that treasure, be with that treasure, have that treasure at all if it's buried on an island?
Yeah.
Really? He's able to get on a ship, his own ship, and go out there and find the treasure again?
No.
No, but if he hides it in his backyard, is he able to touch it and play with it and dig it up and like keep it for himself? Yeah, so I think that was pretty sneaky of him because he was like, I have an idea. We could hide it in my backyard and then I could have it all to myself. Right? I think it's pretty
Kinda right.
Say again?
I was kinda right.
Yeah, you were kind of right. You had the right word and you had a good idea for yours being sneaky, not telling his parents. That wasn't a wrong answer. I just wanted to help you figure out why he was hiding it in his backyard. There's also a good word for that. Okay, good job. All right, so we're going to finish up this book real quick. He hides.
I think I'll need it. After that, the pirates repaired the ship and got ready to set sail. Before they left, Braidbeard handed me a flag and said, "You make a fine pirate, Jeremy Jacob. Guard that treasure well. We'll be back to get it soon enough." Soon enough, the crew repeated. "And if you ever need us," Braidbeard added, "just run the Jolly Roger up yonder pole." Up yonder pole, the others shouted. And maybe I will, but not today. I have soccer practice.
Do you notice how his team for soccer is the Pirates? Thought that was pretty interesting that they added that detail to the book. Okay, I think we have a pretty good idea now of what our character traits are versus our feelings. So remember when you're going through your work today for Monday or this week for Monday and Tuesday, make sure as you're reading the book and listening to the book that you keep in mind the difference between how is somebody acting, how are they acting throughout the entire book, and not how are they feeling. Feelings are different, okay? Remember, if you can describe it as an emoji, then it's a feeling. If you can't describe it with an emoji, it's usually a character trait, okay? So let me go back to this screen right here. And let's go and talk about some math for this week. All right, math this week. We are on to multiplication. Woohoo! For multiplication, we need to know that when you see it written like this, which usually you won't, but this is like a third grade preview, something times something else. This little X is the word times, and it means this is how many groups of this. So we would take this 2 times 3 and say it like this, 2 groups of 3. Okay, so this first number is always going to be the number of groups, and the second number is always going to be how many is in the group. Okay, here's 2 different ways to show it as a picture. When we line it up like this, where it's kind of like a square or a rectangle, we call this an array. Okay, and right here we can see there's 1 group of 3, and there's a second group of 3. Usually how we would have shown this proof in the classroom is to draw circles around it like this to show that's 1 group.
Hey, Ms. Johnson, sorry to interrupt. We can't see the screen anymore.
You can't see the screen. I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me know.
No problem.
I think that happened last time. I don't know why that happened last time, but let's do it this way. Can you see it now? Yay, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so 2 times 3 would be the same as 2 groups of 3. And here's 2 different pictures to show it. So you can see a group of 3 here and a group of 3 here. So that's one way. And when it's presented like this in like a rectangle, it's called an array. Okay. We use arrays a lot in class. If we were still in the classroom, we would be doing arrays and arrays and arrays and arrays. And I have a way that you can practice that with manipulatives online and kind of drag and drop these little things in order to show the array. Okay. Another way to show it is to have like a big circle for a group and put 3 dots in the group. Another way that you can do it is another group here and 3 dots in the group. So you have 2 groups with 3 dots in each group. Okay, is this making sense so far? Yeah? Gabriel, can you sit up, please? We really don't need to see you laying across your bed.
Miss Johnson, I don't
Yes?
get it.
Didn't get which part? Be specific.
I didn't get like the with the first question.
Question?
Like the first box.
This one right here?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do an example down here. Let me get my arrow. So down here we have our first like practice, I guess. This says 2 times 4, which means the same thing as 2 groups of 4. I have these things here so I can make these groups, but I'm going to do one like this so you can see. So this says 2 groups. So I need 2 rows, basically, and I need 4 in each row. So I would pull 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my first group, or my first row. This says I need 2, so I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my second group. So I now have 2 groups of 4, and I could take my pencil and say, here's 1 group of 4, and here's a second group of 4. So I have 2 groups of 4. Does that help?
Miss Johnson,
Yes.
now we can see just you on the screen.
It disappeared again.
Can everybody else see my screen? Because I'm sharing the whole screen. So maybe, are y'all on an iPad or something? I don't know why it's disappearing.
Yeah, because we're on an iPad, I think.
Okay, so maybe it's a setting that you're touching and changing what you're looking at, because my whole screen is shared right now and everybody else can
No, we're not touching it. It's just I guess whoever's talking, it'll.
There might be like on like the left side, it will show like it's like something like switch to like screen. I think you press that and it'll go back.
There are some different settings on your screen, whether it's an iPad or a computer or whatever, where you can change what you're looking at. I don't know why it's jumping around, but try touching the screen and changing those settings, because I know you can like view like the thumbnail image, you can view like where whoever's speaking, it'll pop up a big video in front. So that's probably what you're looking at right now. I don't know why it jumped over there, but I can't affect that from my side of the screen. The good news is if you can't see it now, it's recording on my videos. So if you can't see it on your screen right now, it's going to be recording what I can see, and you can go back and watch it later.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you get back to your screen, but keep playing with it while I keep going on, okay? So let me go back up here to this gray box now that I helped us figure out how to do these groups over here. These gray boxes here, you're also going to need to show repeated addition. So adding the same number repeated times. So if this is 2 groups of 3, it says do 3 2 times. So we could do 3 plus 3 and give us an answer of 6. This is 2 3s, 2 groups of 3. Okay. Over here as a multiplication sentence, we won't use this in 2nd grade, but I figured I'd just expose you to it for a 3rd grade lesson. Writing it with an X in the middle, this X means your groups of or your times. You could write 2 times 3 and you get the same answer. So these are 4 different ways to show the multiplication that we're going to be practicing for this week. Remember, this one is called an array, and it's presented very organized in rows. This one is just groups of pictures. So you have like the big circle for your group and then the items on the inside. This one is repeated addition. And then this one you probably won't see the rest of the week really, because we're not supposed to be using this times symbol, but I'm just showing you so you'll be familiar with it when you get to 3rd grade. Okay. So let's do this one over here. Let me call on a name and you kind of help me out with how to make our groups here. Princeton, I got you. Walk me through it. What would you do to show 2 times 4 or 2 groups of 4? What would you use here?
I would use the circles.
How many of them?
I would use 4 each in 2 groups.
In 2 groups. So which one of these shapes would you use as your groups?
The circle.
Which one? Purple or orange? Be specific.
No, the orange.
The orange one. Okay, so let me make sure I can pull this. Uh-oh. Sorry, let me fix it real quick. Don't know why it's not dragging the copy. Interesting. Maybe I can't do it on the screen. There we go. Okay, so here's a group. Here's a group. And what would you put on the inside?
4 in 2 groups.
4 in the 2 groups. Okay, so if I use like this shape right here, I put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Am I done?
No.
Why not?
You have to put in 4 more in the next group.
Have to put 4 more in the next group. Very good. So we have to put the same amount in that other group. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I have 2 groups. Each group has 4. So if we were to ask, how much is 2 groups of 4? If I counted all of these purple circles, what is the answer to what is 2 groups of 4?
8.
Answer would be 8. So you could write 2 groups of 4 equals 8, because we would count up how many total purple circles you have in the groups. Very good. Okay, let me call on somebody else and you walk me through how to do 3 times 5 or 3 groups of 5. Kyle, what would you do? Walk me through it. Tell me what shapes you would use, how many you would use.
Wait. Something happened.
Something happened. Who's talking? Was that Princeton or was that Kyle?
Something happened to my Zoom.
Uh-oh. Try and get mom or dad to help you. You might have to log out and log back in. I'm sorry. I don't know how to see your screen and what you're seeing. Can everybody else see my screen? Are we still good to go? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Yeah? Okay. We're still good to go. So try and fix your screen, Princeton. Ask mom and dad to help. All right. Is Kyle still on with us? I don't see him. Let me call somebody else. How about Bree? Walk me through. What would you do in this scenario? What shapes would you use? How many would you use? What would you do to show 3 groups of 5?
I would use circles and put
How many circles? What color circle would you use?
yellow.
Yellow circles. And how many? If we want to do 3 groups of 5, would we be doing 3 circles or 5 of the yellow circles? Remember, this is our example here. If I had 2 groups of 3, look at what color has 2 and look at what color has 3.
What color has 2?
On this example right here, what color circle has two of them?
Oh, the yellow got 2?
Yellow.
So this first number is going to be our yellow circles to show our groups. So right here, this is our first number. So this is going to be our yellow circles. So how many yellow circles should I do for 3 groups of 5?
3.
3, because that's our first number. Very good. So let's put 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we've got our groups. What do we want to put in our groups?
You want to put 5 in each of them?
5 in each. Would you like to use purple circles or green stars? Please stop drawing on my screen, whoever's doing it.
Stars.
Stars. Okay, so let me just see if I can drag a copy here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
5. Am I done?
No,
Why not?
because you have to put 5 in each of them.
5 in each group. Very good. Okay, so my next question is going to be, how many is 3 groups of 5? So you can start counting. How much is 3 groups of 5? So if I have 5 here and 5 here and 5 here, what would be our total?
15.
15. Very good. And since we've already got the numbers there, we could show repeated addition, just like this example right here, by just adding some addition signs and saying 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So that would be a good example of repeated addition. Okay? Everybody cool with this so far? We have a couple more examples to do, but we good so far? Good, good, good? Good, good, good. Thank you, Landon, for having a thumbs up. Thank you, Cirillo. Thank you, Cade. All right, going on to this one. This is a different way to show it. This is going to be on a number line. I know, our favorite thing, right? But it's actually pretty simple. It's just jumping by the same number a couple of times. So let me show you this example here, and then I have a couple to pull from here, and you can help me with these examples, okay? So if this was my first one, 2 times 4, I know that this times means groups of. So I need 2 groups of 4. So I'm counting by 4 2 times, okay? So if I start at 0 and I jump to 4, that's 1 time that I counted by 4. I need to do that another time. So if I start at 4 and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's another group of 4 that I counted. So I would show this on my number line by showing I jumped 1 group of 4, I jumped a second group of 4, and so 2 groups of 4 would equal 8 because that's where I landed. Make sense? Yes, yes, thumbs up. I don't see any. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, make sure you're paying attention because I'm gonna call on some people. Make sure you can walk me through how to use this number line. All right, here's our next one to pull from the box, and let me call a name and see who can help me. Oops, get off of there. You're supposed to be locked in place. Okay, how about one group of 8? Let me get rid of these dots. What would I do to show one group of 8? How about AJ? Unmute yourself, join our conversation. Walk me through it. What would you do? AJ, you with us?
Yes.
Okay, walk me through it. If I need one group of 8, what would you do?
I would use the orange circle that you had and start from 0
Good.
and count up 8.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. What else could I show on my number line to finish this up?
You could draw an arrow from 0 to 8.
Awesome job. Okay, so now we've done our work. What would your answer be? What is one group of 8?
8.
It is 8. Awesome job. Great. Excellent. Thank you. All right, I have another one in the box. Let me set it back up and somebody can walk me through it. Next one in the box is 3 groups of 2. How about Noella? Let's unmute. Walk me through it. What would you do? 3 groups of 2.
I would put a circle at 0.
Put the dot at 0. Remember this first groups, and this is what you're counting by. I'm sorry, I was talking. Go ahead, say it again. Say it again.
And then I would put a circle at the 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back a step. I will put one on 4, but I was talking while you were talking on the first part, and I didn't hear the first thing that you said. So if you start at 0, what's your first point? Noella?
Yes.
If you start at 0, what would be your first jump? Would 4 be your first jump if we're doing 3 groups of 2?
No.
Okay, what would be your first jump? Because I think you said it, but I was talking and I didn't get to hear it. Answer. Answer.
I'm thinking.
Okay, let me draw a picture to help you out. If we did repeated addition and I had 3 times to count by 2s, I would have 2 first, plus another 2, plus another 2, and then I would get my answer, right? Okay, so when you start here at 0, you're gonna be counting by 2s, right? So what's the first number I'm gonna land on if I count by 2s?
2.
There you go. Okay, so I think you said that. I was just talking and didn't hear it the first time. Okay, so 2 is our first place. You've already said 4 is your next place. What's your next one?
6.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so now we've got our dots. What can I do to finish it up? What can I draw on it to show our work?
You can put an arrow.
Very good. So we're gonna draw our arrow to jump to 2. What's next?
And then you draw another arrow to jump to 4.
Good job, keep going.
And then to 6.
And then another arrow to 6. Okay, and then what would my final answer be? What is 3 groups of 2?
6.
It is 6, okay, because 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, and we can show it on our number line that we landed at 6. Very good. I think I have one more example here, and then I think we're moving on to science. So let me call on one more person. Great job. Multiplication is pretty easy, especially when you get to use pictures. It's not until 3rd and 4th grade that we actually start memorizing multiplication facts, and it gets a little bit harder. All right, so this is our last one, 2 groups of 4. Let's see who's gonna help me out here. How about Will? Haven't called on you in a while. Help me out with this, Mr. Will. 2 groups of 4. What are you gonna do?
So 2 groups of 4, you have to start at 2.
Start at 2. So we're counting by 2s or are we counting by 4s?
4s.
We're counting by 4s. Okay, so if I start at 0, what's my first number I'm gonna land on?
4.
4, okay, and then what's next?
And then comes 8.
And then comes 8 because we would start at 4 and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. How can I finish this up?
By putting arrows.
Arrows. Okay, so I'm going to go from 0 to 4, and then what's next?
4 to 8.
4 to 8. How could I show this using repeated addition? What would you be adding? What you're adding is what the jumps are. So what did you jump by?
We jumped by 4s.
We jumped by 4. So we would do 1 group of 4. So this would be plus 4. And then we did another jump of 4. So this would be plus 4. So we did 2 jumps of 4. So what is our final answer? What is 2 groups of 4?
8.
It is 8. And we can show that on our number line here that we landed on 8. Okay. Great job, guys. Okay, so that's going to end up our multiplication lesson. If you need some more examples on that, feel free to jump in on Wednesday or Friday and get some more examples, okay? All right, we're going to zoom through science real quick because we've been on for quite a while and I need to wrap it up. For science this week, we are looking at some different ways that animals survive in different environments using their body parts, using special skills that they have. So we're just going to do some schema real quick on what you already know about animals and kind of zoom through this part of our lesson because this is all just schema and it's nothing new. So if we think about animals that live in the water, what body parts help them survive? So I'm going to pull out some pictures and you tell me what body parts are helping these animals survive. Let me call on a name. Kyle, pick an animal, unmute yourself, and tell me how is it surviving using one of its body parts.
The whale survives by their fins.
Their fins. What do their fins help them do?
Swim.
They help them move through the water and swim. Very good. Let me call on somebody else. Bree, unmute yourself. Pick either the duck or the fish. Tell me a body part that it uses to help survive in the water.
I will choose the fish.
Okay, what body part does it have to help it survive in the water?
It has
How does it breathe?
by his nose.
Okay, so usually they don't have a nose like we do. What's the body part on a fish that's on the side that kind of does like this? It starts with a G. Do you know the word? It's spelled this way.
Gill.
Gills. On the sides of their face right here, they have gills. It's kind of like our nose, but it's not on the front of their faces. It's on the sides, and that's how they get air out of the water. When we go swimming, we can't breathe underwater because we don't have gills, but fish have gills, and it helps them breathe underwater. That is a special thing that they have to help them survive. Okay, you call on one more person. Tell me what the duck has that helps it survive in the water. Diesel, unmute yourself. Tell me.
No.
A duck doesn't have fins like a fish does, so how does it move through the water? What helps it move?
Webbed feet.
Webbed feet, absolutely. They have special little webs between their toes that helps push that water as they try and move their feet through the water. It's kind of like having flippers on for us when we go swimming. It helps push that water and helps them move around in the water. So that is a special adaptation that they have that helps them survive. Good job. Let's think about animals that live in the cold. What do these animals have that help them survive in the cold? How about Chloe? Unmute and tell me, pick an animal. What helps it survive in the cold? Chloe, you with us? Nope, I don't see her on here anymore. How about Hannah? Pick an animal. One of these three down here. What helps it survive in the cold?
The Arctic fox survives in the cold because of its fur, and it's a mammal, so it can adapt to the changes the body goes through. And in different seasons, it changes different colors, and sometimes it loses fur, and sometimes it gains more fur.
You're absolutely right. So you mentioned a couple of things. His fur actually keeps him warm in the winter. It's like having a coat on for us, so it keeps them warm. And you're absolutely right. The Arctic fox does change color. In the summer, he's like brown, so he blends in with the grass and the mountain and things like that. And in the winter, he's white, so he blends in with the snow. His fur changes color, and that helps him survive. That's absolutely right. Good job. All right, just to save time, these two animals, they have extra fat underneath their skin. Remember we did that experiment where I covered your hand in that goopy white stuff and we stuck it in ice and it kept it a little bit warmer than it would have been with your hand all the way in the ice? Remember that was called blubber? And that kind of helps them keep warm in the freezing cold and the freezing water that they swim in. So blubber and different fur coverings helps these animals stay warm in the winter. How about desert animals? What do these guys have that help them survive in a hot climate? AJ, if you're with us, unmute and tell me, pick an animal. How do these animals survive? Pick one.
Watch the snakes.
Is AJ still with us? Yeah,
I
I
would
see you.
choose a camel.
Okay, how does it help survive in the desert?
Yes, ma'am. I have two quick questions for you. Actually, three.
I don't know how camel survives in the desert.
Okay, let me give you a hint right here. There's something that a camel stores in these humps that help it survive when they can't find a lot of food or a lot of water. What do you think it stores there?
Water and food?
Water and food. It kind of stores up in fat, and that's what is underneath those humps. So they're not like hard bone. It's actually kind of like soft and squishy. It's kind of like a big belly for them. So when they can't find food or water for a long time, they kind of can eat off of the fat inside of themselves. That fat deposit inside their body helps them survive so they don't starve to death. So remember, in the desert, there's not a lot of rain. There's not a lot of food. So they have to find when they can and store it up in their body so that they can survive when they can't find any. Yeah. How about Kate? Pick one of those left, the animals that are left, and tell me, what do you think it's surviving? Cade? Thank you. I don't need to see mom and the baby. Tell me one of these animals and how is it surviving?
Are you talking about like the rabbit or like those?
The meerkats? Uh-huh. What part of their bodies are helping them survive in the desert? What do you think based on the clues that you see?
Wait, I just need to this is a hard one.
Okay, let me give you a hint. Let's look at this one right here. Remember when we talked about the cold environments, they had a lot of fat to help them stay warm. Well, if you're in a hot climate, do you want all that fat on you?
No.
No, because then you'd be sweating and totally burning up. So what do you see on these guys? Do they look really, really fat?
No.
No.
They're like this.
They're like really skinny, right? So these guys, if you look back here, there's like a little burrow or a little hole that they live in. These guys have to be really skinny so they can fit in their burrows, and it's really hot, so they don't store up a lot of fat on their bodies. They're really skinny to move around. Let's do one more of this one right here, this rabbit. If we look right here at its ears, ears is a big way that animals stay cool in hot places. Okay, when their ears are big like that, they can move them around and it helps cool off. That's the reason why elephants have huge ears and you see them kind of walking around and waving their ears, because it helps cool themselves off. Okay, question?
You said they have to be skinny but the camel is like big and humpy and stuff like that.
The camel doesn't live in a hole down here, so he can be a little bit bigger, and he's actually not fat wide this way. He's stored in a different way. So this fat is not all over his body. It's just in one area, so it doesn't keep him really, really warm like a polar bear or a walrus would. He stores it in a different way. But that's a good thing that you're looking at and pointing that out, because that is a similarity. Okay, good job. We have one more. Let's look at these animals that spend their time in the air. What body parts do they have that help them survive? Noella, pick an animal. What body part of any of these birds survive in the air?
Owl.
Okay, so what about the owl helps it survive in the air? What is really sticking out about that animal? What do you see? I'm looking at this right here.
His face.
Okay, what about his face is really big?
His eyes.
His eyes. So this bird, this particular owl, I don't know if you know, but owls usually hunt at night, and at night it's usually a lot darker. So these owls have to have really large eyes so that they can pick up any light that they see, whether that's stars or moonlight or flashlights or anything like that, and it helps them see in the dark. Not all birds have big eyes like that. If we look at these birds, their eyes aren't quite as big as the owls. They're actually pretty small. Owls have very large eyes, though, to help them see at night. That is a body part that helps them survive. Okay. What about this one, our eagle? Diesel, can you tell me something about this eagle that helps it survive in the air?
Its wings.
Its wings. It has very large wings, and eagles fly pretty high. So these wings definitely help it survive in the air. I don't think a camel could survive in the air. It doesn't have any wings, right? So definitely wings is a big part. What about a hummingbird? How is this bird's body different than these two birds? What might it need to survive? Let me go to Sean.
Its beak.
Its beak. What do you see about its beak, and what do you know about its beak?
It's very small, so it could get honey.
Very good. So honey and nectar that it goes into the flowers, it has to be very, very small. I know it's small, but if you look at this bird's beak, maybe you have some schema. Eagles need a sharp pointed beak so they can rip apart their prey because they are carnivores. So each bird has a different shaped beak that helps them survive. So definitely all these animals have different adaptations that help them survive. I believe this is our last page. There might be one more after this. These have some examples of camouflage. Camouflage is the ability to hide, and this is very important for both predators and prey. Remember, predators are those animals that chase after and kind of run after and chase other things to eat them. So if predators are able to camouflage, like this leopard or jaguar, you can barely see it because it's hiding in all these leaves. Well, if it's able to camouflage, it's able to get closer to their prey and kind of sneak up on it, so it has a better chance of attacking its prey animal. This one too, this spider, it's sitting right here on this tree and you can barely see it. Even if I make it a little bit bigger, it blends in really, really well. And so whatever it was chasing, whether it be a fly or an insect or something like that, it would be able to disguise itself and not be seen. What about this one? It looks like a tree, but it's not. It's actually an owl sitting right here in this tree. and it blends right in. It looks like part of the tree. So if it was like chasing something at night, I bet you its prey wouldn't see it, okay? Same thing for the prey animal, the one that's running away from the predators. They use the ability to hide as well. This one right here is an example of a lizard on a leaf stem. So this is the head, this is the arm, that's its back, that's its tail. That's actually a lizard sitting there, but it looks exactly like one of the leaves. How cool is that, right? Camouflage is a really cool thing. What about this one? What do you see? This one's really well hidden. Do you see it right here? That is a kind of caterpillar, and it's got these little fuzzy things that stick out from it so that it blends in with that leaf, and it even knows to stay right in the middle, so it follows that little, like yellow line down the middle. Isn't that pretty cool? And we have a seahorse down here. You can see his little tail's wrapped around, and here's his little body, and that's his little face, that's his mouth. He's actually hanging on to some coral, and these guys are really, really tiny. They're only like an inch big, and so they've got to find something that's their color and their size that they can hang on to and help them survive. Okay, Kay, did you have a question? I see a hand up. Kay, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Like, in some of the pictures, I don't even see anything.
Okay, which one? What color?
Like, the leaf, the tree, and the green leaf, some sort of brown and white thing.
Okay, so let me bring this one to the front and let me outline it for you. The body of the caterpillar is right here. And then all around it, it has these like feathers kind of that stick out around it. All of that is the animal.
Oh. It's kind of like blending in with the whole environment.
That's right. That's exactly what camouflage is blending in with its environment. Okay, so let me do one more. How about this tree one? Because I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is...
Wait, oh, now I see it. It's an owl.
It is. It's an owl. So here's its ears. Here's its wing. His feet are right here. That's our owl.
It's like I couldn't see it.
Right? That's exactly what camouflage is. Isn't that neat? I love learning about animals and camouflage. I think they have some really cool skills. Okay.
Oh, I think I see the leaf guy now.
Good job. All right, so this one is our last word and our last page that we need to know. One of your quizzes for science asks about appendages. That's a big word. Appendages just means hands, arms, legs, feet, or tails. So anything that kind of sticks out from the body that helps grab.
What are you trying to do?
That is an appendage. Appendage helps grab and hold on to things. So I'm going to erase some of these and tell you just real quickly so we can get off what appendage they have to help them survive. So this is our monkey. It definitely has arms and legs that help it survive, but right here at this moment, it is using its tail to help grab and hold on to things. So its tail would be the appendage that we'd be looking at, okay? What about number 2, this seahorse? The appendage that it's using, because it has no arms and legs, it's also using its tail to hold on to a piece of grass. So its tail would be the appendage. How about this one? What appendage, Gabriel, is it using to hold on to something?
Its beak.
It's beak. Okay, so a beak is a mouth. That's not really an appendage. What else is right here that's holding something?
Feet.
His feet, yeah, it's kind of hard to see because I know it's up by his mouth, but his feet right here are holding on to this little nut that's helping him to eat. So his feet would be his appendage. Very good. How about this one? What appendage is this hamster using to help it survive? Hannah, what appendage is it using?
It is, the appendage that it's using is its hands to hold the cracker and eat it.
Very good, and I love your complete sentence. So we can see his hands right here are holding onto his things. That is its appendage. Very good. And last question of the day. What appendage is this nasty praying mantis using to eat its nasty meal? How about Kyle? What appendage is it using?
Its feet.
Its feet and its arms, yeah. So feet are kind of back here. This right here would actually be its arms, and it's holding on to what looks like a roach or something like that. But definitely, that would be an appendage that it's using. Okay. All right. So just to make sure you know what is going on for the rest of this week, let me show you something real quick because we didn't cover social studies. And so I want to make sure you know there's a video in your Canvas to help you out with the lesson for social studies. I'm not going to go over it right now, but there is a video to watch. So can you see my Canvas right now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we just did our direct teach and we're on our Zoom right here. This right here is a video that Miss S made for us. It goes through some more multiplication lesson, that kind of thing. It is a nice video, has all the lessons that I just taught you for math, but it's some more. And then this one, make sure you take a second to watch it. It is a brain pop video on social studies information. There's 2 videos you need to watch for social studies this week. One is here on Monday and one is here on Tuesday. Sorry, one is here on Tuesday. You will need to watch those to get all the information for your social studies since I'm not going over it. Please make sure you take a second and watch those. The rest of the week is set up just like last week where you have all these little practice quizzes that you can do, but the things that you must do are always underneath the assignments. Okay? Y'all can unmute yourselves. Is there any questions that you have over our lesson that we went over today? Any last minute things that I can cover before we all get off?
No.
I see Kate, do you have a question, Kate?
So
quickly.
So can we, like, are we supposed to do that? Like, do we have those things that you just showed us on Canvas?
Yes, it's on your Canvas as well. It was on my Canvas, but it is on your Canvas as well. So at some point, you don't have to do it today because we've spent a long time today, but at some point, you need to watch those videos so that you understand what's going on with social studies this week, okay?
Okay.
Okay, AJ, what's your question?
When I get onto the brain pop, it just takes me to the login.
Try going through Class Link. It could just be the way that the link is copied in Canvas. You know how to get through Class Link. So if you go to Class Link, I've assigned it to everybody, so it should pop up there for you to assign, okay? Okay, sorry for that confusion. Any other questions that you have about our lessons?
No.
See any more hands? Good to go?
Nope.
Okay, try and get all your lessons for the week done by Sunday so I can close out those modules. Thank you for joining our direct teach today, guys. You did a great job. Thanks for playing.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys. See y'all later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.